morning and welcome, listeners. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 1220 AM and 98.1 FM. This is SCVI Charter Schools, Our Way on the Highway. I'm Amber Raskin, founder of SCVI and iLEAD Schools. Joining me today is my co-host, Matt Watson. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Amber. How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to finally be here at summer vacation, although it doesn't look too much like summer outside. We've got some of that June gloom going on this week.
Yeah, such unusual weather this year.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting up to those triple digits. I like it when it's nice and hot.
Yeah, me too.
Joining us in studio today, we've got a couple of people who should be on summer vacation, but they're joining us here in studio with KHTS. We have Cheryl Senna and Kevin Becker, two staff members from SCVI, and a recent graduate, Kaylee Spiteri. Good morning, three of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, we're here to talk this morning about one of the unique programs at SCVI Charter School, the internship program that some of our high schoolers participate in. And actually, that's kind of a misnomer. I think it's all of our high schoolers eventually participate in the internship program. Cheryl, you coordinate the internship program. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so can you start off by maybe telling us a little bit about the internship program, what it is, and more importantly, what's the purpose, what's the why behind the internships?
Well, it's a year-long class that all seniors take, and they start thinking about it the year before. Bottom line, we want them to answer the driving question is, how have my views changed about work and career by participating in this program? So we begin the year off with an exploration of career choices, and they take tests on personality, they take tests on interest, and they find a career that they like, and we bring in speakers from all walks of careers, and then they look at what does it take to become this person. Like if I want to be a makeup artist, or if I want to be a journalist, what kind of vocational school or educational school that I need to go through to get this career. And then we meet people in the profession, and they speak to them about what they do and what they're looking for in interns, because we get people in the community, we get people working in the community to come in, and we match them with learners. And then the learners have to put together a resume. They have to put together a cover letter, apply for positions, interview for positions, and in December they get notification whether or not they've been hired as an intern. And hopefully in the spring, they do about 40 to 60 hours with that mentor, experiencing the everyday challenges of that position, but also they work with that mentor to create a project that will give them real life experience of that the person does. And then they do the project and write a paper about it. And they have all they need to know. Hopefully, when they leave, is this a career I want to go into? Is this something I need to look further into to see if I want to go at a different angle a little bit? Or, no, this isn't what I want to do. It's not anything like I thought it was.
That's fantastic. I remember when I was in high school, we took career aptitude tests, and we would get a list of maybe kind of the top 5 careers we might consider going into. But then that's where it stopped. We never really had the opportunity to explore that. So that's great that you give the kids the opportunity to spend time really practicing that career.
I'm a huge fan of internships. Back in the day when I was in college and high school, I found both what I did want to do and what I didn't want to do from an internship.
Yes.
So, you too, Kaylee? Tell us about that.
So we had my personal project that we did in 10th grade, and I wanted to be a vet then. And
A veterinarian?
Yeah, a veterinarian. But I interned at a vet that was like right down my street, and it was really fun to help animals. Like I saved animals' lives, but just not like being there, and it was completely different than what you think it is. And like going through the schooling for it, it just kind of like it was way different, and it was not something that I wanted to go and pursue in. And I want to do like makeup for the studios and stuff like that now. So like seeing that, and especially with my internship that I did this year, and I'll talk about that later, but getting to see it, and that's actually something that made me more excited to go out and graduate and go do it than I was then in 10th grade.
That's beautiful. So many of us will go through, like you said, the years of college and get into a career, and now we're fully vested and realize wow, I really didn't enjoy this as much as I thought I would.
Yeah.
But now how do you go back and start all over again, especially
Yeah.
once you've started a family and things like
Exactly.
that? It's great that you had the opportunity to do that.
It's a whole different ballgame when you're in it every day, and all
Right.
of the ancillary. There might be this one little thing about a career or an industry that appeals to you, but when you're in it, the day-to-dayness of what that entails looks very different.
It's very different, especially like, like exactly like I got to help a little baby kitten, be alive. It was passed away when it came in, and then like we revived it, and that
Wow.
was something.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Oh, that was the
Life-changing.
Yeah, it was something that like I will never forget. But we would just be sitting like, logging all these things, and like I would just be doing nothing, and it wasn't very exciting for me, and I always have to kind of be doing stuff with my hands and keep me occupied, and it wasn't like that. And so I just kind of was very different, but getting to see those like animals and help them was definitely something that, I love, but I will keep to like their profession. And I'm
What a wonderful experience. Because,
Yeah.
Another thing that it also teaches me, like my degree was in interior design, and I found out from an internship that wasn't really the industry I wanted to go into, because I knew that making a difference was really important to me. And while you can make a difference, and I think your surroundings and your physical surroundings make a huge impact on you, and you can absolutely make a difference. Back then, home makeover didn't exist. And so all I could find in the moment was design studios. And while I really enjoyed the creativity of it, kind of to your point, like what I was doing every day was not going to excite me,
Yeah.
because I realized what I really wanted to do was be in there, like having human connection and touching
Right.
people and making, like what I'm doing now with working with people in schools. But where I'm going with that is that I still to this day love facilities and I love design.
Right.
So I incorporate that in what I'm doing, but it's more of an ancillary thing instead of my main focus.
Yeah.
And that was what was right for me. So it's beautiful because you might be able to work with animals.
Well, and like actually like I learned a lot when I was interning, and like my uncle's dog was really sick, and like getting to use those like tactics that I learned there, and like helping him, like and seeing like helping animals, because I love animals, and like if I could have all the animals in the world I totally would. But getting to use those like things that I learned, it's definitely like something that I will use in my life, and obviously I have.
Yeah.
Kaylee, you hinted at a process that we allow our learners to go through at SCVI that's very, very intentional, that I just love about our school. When our learners first come into the high school grades at 9th grade, the focus is learning how to learn and really learning to be autonomous, learning to deal with some of the freedoms that come in high school and college, and how to manage yourself. But then when they get into their sophomore year, they have what you referred to, the passion project or the personal project. That's a full year project that allows our sophomores to explore something that they're really passionate about, and get them kind of asking themselves that question: what do I enjoy? What am I passionate about? What do I want to get involved in? Junior year, we tend to focus a lot on, okay, so what are you thinking about after high school, and maybe starting to get college applications ready, taking the SAT, things like that. And then senior year leads right into the internship. And so they have those multiple opportunities. Like I said, not just that 45-minute high school counselor coming into my English class and giving me an aptitude test and giving me the results of a bubble-in form. Now, I know we have a couple of different types of settings that our kids intern in, right, Cheryl? There's the on-campus.
We have on-campus for learners who perhaps might want to be teachers when they grow up, or might want to, in the case, Kevin Becker's here today to talk a little bit about theater interns. We've also done, one of our learners, he interned for 2 years with our computer ops or our tech people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, IT. I know that we've had some IT interns.
And it's been great to watch him grow with that as well. We also provide opportunities with facilitators who might have other roles. Like I also do the senior events, so my intern was an event coordinator, and I facilitated learning about what it takes to put on an event and all the work behind that as well.
Wow, so some of our kids that are interested in some things other than teaching are really able to get involved in some internships on campus, and then other kids like you, Kaylee, are able to intern off campus.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of our listeners that are business owners and leaders of different organizations around town that might be interested in receiving one of our interns. If you stay tuned, in a few minutes we'll give you some information on how you can get connected with Cheryl and maybe have an intern next year. But Kevin, I did want to talk to you. I spoke with one of your interns a couple of weeks ago, and it was really fascinating hearing how deeply involved they were with one of the programs that you work with at SCVI. Can you tell us about the interns that you had this year and some of the things that you did with them, or more importantly, what they did with you?
Yeah, so I was very lucky to have 3 interns this year, Lauren, Madison, and Evan, and they were amazing. They came to me last year and they talked to me about wanting to learn more about what I do with our theater program. So I'm one of, I haven't told the others this, but I've started calling us the Hydra. There's 3 of us who kind of are on top of the theater in the upper school, Ian, Cordy, and myself. And what my main duty is kind of organizing and producing our after school program. So what I did with them is I sat down with Cheryl and I said, we wanted it to be something different. We wanted it to be a program that was not just make copies, be a teaching assistant, because these three kids really were more interested in the artistic side. So I was lucky enough to have them the whole year, and in the fall they each kind of worked on their own focus. So I had one who was an assistant director, I had one who was stage managing, I had one who was more in the classroom with me working on educational theater aspects and things like that. And then in the spring, what I decided to do is now take it real world, take it outside of our classroom. And what they had to do is over the semester we worked together to design a theater season for SCVI. So I gave them the 2018-2019 event calendar, and I said, our season is 3 plays in the high school, 2 plays for our 4 through 8 players, and what you're going to do is you're going to design it, you're going to budget it, you're going to do the whole thing. You're going to be a producer for the semester. And so they were allowed to pick whatever plays they wanted. I taught them how to look up the cost of rights. I taught them how to figure out what is the donation needed, how do we fundraise, where do we get grants, and we would meet every week and we'd sit down in Starbucks and we'd talk through the next step, we'd talk through calendaring, and I was really, really impressed with how much they dove into it, because it did take it beyond, I think, what they were expecting, because they were like, oh, cool, we'll work in the shows after school, and they did, and they were amazing. But then being able to take that into learning how to make sure that they know how to do a budget, and learning how to make sure they know how to make calendars and how they can make professional emails and things like that was something that I worked very closely with Cheryl to make sure that the kids were getting, to make it a really worthwhile experience.
And I was going to say, imagine that conversation when one of them went to Cal Arts and had a conversation about what kind of experience do you have, a real life experience you have to do what you want to do, and they can bring up, which I never knew about, that each show you have to figure out the cost of the rights. They were explaining that to me, and when I read their papers, I was blown away, because their papers read like someone who's in the industry writing up what they did as a job description. And
yeah, I'm so impressed listening to your process. It's such a beautiful process for students. Because as I said, I did several internships. I think that was back in the day where it was more accepted to just be the one getting coffee, and I did a lot of that, which I still learned a lot, because I still got to be in the room, and I do credit one of my first careers with being an intern and just showing up and being there to do whatever I needed to do. In fact, one of my claims to fame is I was assigned, when I was on the Lisa Gibbons show, to Tammy Faye Baker. She brought her dog with her to be on the show, and her dog had an accident in the restroom, and I cleaned it up.
That's the most intern thing I've ever heard.
But what was interesting about it, and I think a lot of it's around mindset, which I think is what you're both teaching, which is just beautiful, is that I was willing to clean it up, right? I just went and did what needed to be done. And so not long after that, I was offered a job, which is why I just love that you are teaching the mindset in the social emotional skills that I know we focus on, as well as the technical skills, because you really need both. So it does make me wonder, how many people do you see get hired? Can we talk about that a little bit? I mean, I know of one off the bat. I know Reese Bowen did an internship here at KHTS, and then he got hired. I would imagine it happens in other places too.
We have another intern who worked here for KHTS this year, and she has said that she's looking to go through that process as well. The other thing, though, is it's helped our kids get into colleges. I can speak as a parent of a daughter who, in her interview with NYU, spoke about her internship in depth, and at the end of the interview, the man who happened to be the head of the program said to her, "You have such a well-rounded education on theater, where most people just come from behind the scenes." As she sings, so she's going from musical theater. Most people come from a performance base, but you understand everything around it.
Well, and I see that in my own daughter too, by the way, who did a theater internship on campus, but now has her own company where she now knows how to do a season based on that. She did that at the Maine. And by the way, her personal project was on special effects makeup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to reference that because I know your daughter did learn some of those practical skills in her internship program that she's now parlayed into her own business.
In fact, in her senior year, there was a change in the theater teacher, and she wound up running
the show.
The
I
show.
remember that.
Right, yeah.
And
Wow.
Gabby's hired right now with her internship. She comes back on summers, and she's working for Broadway-bound players
That's beautiful.
as an intern there. So.
And that's what I love about the focus of our school is we're focused on not building students that are employable, but students that are intended to be leaders. And so even through their internship, they're expected to, like you said, not fetch coffee and make copies, but to make those decisions while we're still there as kind of a safety net. Because, Kevin, if one of your interns were just to completely crash and burn with setting up a year calendar or something like that, you're there to kind of rescue them and continue to guide them.
Yeah, that was mainly the purpose behind the weekly meeting is we sat down at the beginning of second semester and I gave them a calendar and I said, this is what's due every week so that I can look at it, but like don't think of it as sketched in stone. And so they'd come in and they'd be like, I want to do Phantom, and I was like, you can't do Phantom. And they're like, why can't I do Phantom? And I was like, you're gonna drop a chandelier in our theater? How are you gonna hang that up? Like you gotta be realistic about that. Like I'd love to do Ragtime, but we don't have a big enough lighting grid yet. So
I love the word "yet."
Well, yeah. But it's those considerations and being able to sit in a meeting and say like, this is what I want to do, and to hear that's not going to work, and not to immediately break down and be like, I'm a failure. I guess I'm wrong. It's like, no, your idea is fantastic. Put it in your back pocket for a different venue, or for when you've got the ability to do it. Like one of the best things about our program at SCVI and across all of iLEAD is that it is constantly growing, and it's constantly fostering our ability to take our passions in a new way. So being able to say to the kids, yeah, I don't think that would work in this season, but let's come back in 2 years.
And what I love that you're talking about too is the problem solving, which is we focus on entrepreneurialism, which combines both problem solving and things you're interested in. So and the reason we focus on that is because that helps you anywhere. It doesn't really matter if you're an employee or an entrepreneur. Those entrepreneurial problem solving and seeking out things you're interested in skills will apply to any position for somebody else or for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we do have to take a break in just a few seconds, but Kaylee, when we come back, I want to talk to you about the process of selecting your internship and how you thought about what you chose. And then I also, as I mentioned before, I do want to give some information to our listeners who might be interested in maybe having an intern visit them, because I know that interns can be a very valuable help, but so many business owners and leaders of companies in our city are interested in making a difference and really do want to help touch the future of their career and their industry. So next break, we'll have a little bit more information when they come back. We do have to take a short break, but please stay tuned, because when we do come back, we're going to continue talking with Cheryl Senna and Kevin Becker and Kaylee Spiteri about the internship opportunities and programs going on at SCVI. You're listening to SCVI Charter Schools, Our Way on the Highway. I am the co-host, Matt Watson, with your host, Amber Raskin, and this is your hometown station, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Do you like to rock across Africa?
Then the wait is over.
Africa Rocks! Africa's Greatest Hits is now available at the San Diego Zoo! And who could forget 99 red baboons?
Or the African crested porcupine smash hit, I Got Quills to Pay the Bills! Hey, don't get too close!
And the hits keep on coming!
Africa Rocks has all your favorites from 6 different African habitats.
Hungry like a leopard!
Ibex is back!
Harder, better, Fossa stronger!
And a new track from Kendrick Lemur!
Now, Larry.
Yes, Chuck?
A collection of this magnitude, I'd fly to Africa!
Well, don't pack your bags, friend. Africa Rocks is only available right here at the San Diego Zoo.
Wow, that really does rock.
No, it Africa Rocks.
Welcome to Africa Rocks. Experience 6 different African habitats, including our first ever aquatic enclosure with African penguins. Only at the San Diego Zoo.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 1220 on the AM dial and 98.1 FM. This is Amber Raskin, joined by my co-host Matt Watson, and this is SCVI Charter Schools, Our Way on the Highway. Welcome back.
Before the break, we were talking with Cheryl Senna, the coordinator of the internship program at SCVI, working to prepare our seniors for life after high school graduation, as well as Kevin Becker, who had several of the interns. We talked about some of the amazingly authentic activities that were involved, specifically in with working with Kevin. We were also talking with Kaylee Spiteri, who has recently graduated from SCVI. I don't know that we said congratulations. Congratulations, Kaylee.
Thank you.
Now, you talked a little bit about the work that you did with a veterinarian when you were a sophomore, but then as you got to senior year and you're looking forward to internships, you had mentioned that you realized you didn't necessarily, based on your experience in 10th grade, didn't necessarily want to go into being a veterinarian. So talk to us about the process of choosing your internship. How did you decide to choose the internship that you eventually landed on?
Okay, so my junior year, I was kind of just taking classes that I took IB and all that kind of stuff, trying to figure out what I wanted to do and, all that kind of stuff, because I didn't want to really be a vet anymore, so I didn't really know what to do. But I always had this passion for makeup. I loved makeup, loved doing it, seeing people, I just watched so many YouTube videos on doing it. And going into my senior year, I kind of realized I was like, well, I want to do makeup. I really want to be passionate and do all this kind of stuff, and doesn't matter where I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, kind of thing. And so I started an Instagram and started posting photos there and everything like that. And then when our internship came up, I already had an intern. So my mentor is my aunt. She works on the studios already for hair. And so I was already working with her, going to sets and helping her pack up the studios and put them all together and help her assist. Basically, I was her assistant, and that was my first job. I got to go with her and everything. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to, go on set, go on movies and actually see what it's like to be there and, work hands-on with actors and everything like that. So it was a good couple months, but I was probably one of the first people to know what I wanted to, intern and all that kind of stuff. But seeing with my, I went on set with my aunt and got to see all those breaking down moments and all that kind of stuff. So that was my thought process for that was I knew I wanted to do something in that general area. I just didn't know what to do. And then my aunt was also in that field. So
Well, that's
it kind
great
of was
that you
just
had kind of a built-in mentor
Yeah.
in the family.
Yeah.
So Cheryl, is that a required component? I guess it would have to be. If you're going to intern, you have to intern for somebody. So how do our learners choose their mentors? Is it something that they need to already know someone in that industry?
Kaylee was lucky. She had
Yeah,
that
I was lucky,
opportunity.
lucky.
What we did in the first 2 months is for maybe every class, I had someone from the local community or someone who wanted to be a mentor come in, and they would present their job and what they do to the internship classes. I had 2 of them, so they presented twice. And the seniors would take notes about that job and then have to pick 1 or 2 of them that they would write a journal about, explaining whether they liked it or not, or wanted to do that job. So when it came time to, after they put together their resume and then write cover letters and to apply for the positions, they could go back and look on the notes and see what they said. We had a lot of conversations about, pick up on what they're talking about. If they talk about something different than what they're presenting, like a special interest, bring that up in your letter, because that rises you to the top
As
of the
somebody who hires people a lot,
Yes.
that's absolutely something I'm always looking for is what's your interest. Not what sometimes what's on your resume will give a clue, but maybe you're interested in something that you do as a hobby that is not on your resume that
Right.
we might be willing to give you as a piece of the job. you
And
know?
we peer edited because I also had the conversation is you don't want to spell something incorrectly on your cover letter or leave out punctuation or put in the dreaded baby I, which is my lowercase
yeah,
I.
the baby I.
Yes, 'cause texters usually do a lowercase I. And we had those conversations a lot, and we went through the process of rewriting their cover letters. And even though Kaylee knew her aunt and was already interning, she had us still go through that
I went through
process.
the entire process.
Oh, and I would say that I would imagine you can talk about this a little bit, but when Sammy did her personal project, she did she went onto a set also because she happens to have a dad in the business. So
Right.
her dad brought her in, and she did special effects on Keegan-Michael Key.
Oh yeah.
And so she was able to have a similar kind of experience to
Yeah.
you, but it was quite. Even though in fact, I think having her dad there made it more stressful. Because there's a
yes.
higher expectation.
Especially family is like, 'cause
Yeah.
you don't want to it's their job. That's
Right.
like you're there for
Can't
their
make
job.
them look bad.
Yeah, you can't make them look bad.
Yeah.
It's definitely going there, and it was very intense because I didn't want to mess up, and you had to be professional, and I didn't know what to expect. So going on set, and then you having to be quiet or other people talking, and then I'm not talking, I'm just sitting there looking behind the camera when they're recording, and then someone's talking, they're like, quiet on set, and I'm like, that's not me,
It's pretty embarrassing to be on a set and be the one that everyone yells at.
But it was something that was great to see, but also really nerve-wracking. So yeah,
But it's nice to get those jitters out when you're
Yeah.
starting to think about career, right?
Yeah, definitely. I got to see that's something that I want to do in my life, and getting to see those working on hands-on, and not being bored. Like I said before, is I was bored when I was working with the vet, but this career, you always have to be hands-on, looking at the hair, looking at the makeup to make sure it's camera ready, or as it was for the last take, because if it's different, everyone's gonna catch it. So seeing that, and always having to find those little tiny critiques that you want to do, or if the director wants something different, you have to make sure you do that.
Having worked in that business myself, I agree.
Yeah.
It's not. It's never boring.
No.
It was. And every time you're on a new show, it's a whole different ball game too. So it just constantly reinventing is one of the most interesting things about that business to me.
Yes.
Cheryl, can you tell us a little bit about how businesses would get on a list, and maybe contact information even, or
Actually, last year we had a few businesses contact Matt. I remember you sent me a few requests, and Sarah Brown sent a few requests as well. And I have a whole contact information sheet where I send out information about the mentorship to let them know the scope and sequence of the whole program, because in the fall you just need to be there to present what your internship will be and go through the process of reading the letters or people who apply and interviewing them and then hiring them. But in the spring, where you have 40 to 60 hours that they can work, they basically have to work 3 to 5 hours a week. And then you have to meet with them at least once a week to talk about the project and create the project.
And maybe at the last segment, you can give us the phone number or website or email that they contact to if they want to reach out.
Definitely. We can always use more mentors. We had people in the fields from the fire department. We had Home League. They installed solar panels. We had plumbers. We had learners who worked with plumbing, who worked at Burbank Airport, installing plumbing at Burbank Airport. So we had a whole range of different kinds of internships. Photographers, 2 photographers, professional magazine photographers who worked with our learners to create their own portfolios.
Can they find a link on the SCVI website to contact you? Or can we add one?
We can add one.
Yes. Okay, so you can go to the SCVI website and we'll add a contact information for signing up to be on the intern.
Yeah. And that last break,
list.
we'll make sure that they have an email address and phone number that they can call. So I know the year culminates, or the second semester culminates, with just a beautiful event where kids come forward and they present their experience, and some of the mentors were even there. So what did some of our kids end up getting out of the work that they did? Was this something that some of our learners have decided to go into the industry, or did it maybe, like in Kaylee's case as a sophomore, did it change their mind and decide, well, I worked all semester long at the Burbank Airport installing plumbing, and that's something I'll never do again?
Well, we have the learner who worked with the fire department is going to go to COC for that. The IT specialist, the learner who did that, is going to San Jose State, and it was very interesting. He accepted to a couple of UCs, but he chose San Jose State because its proximity to San Jose, which is, we all know, the tech center of the world, and particularly because of their internships that they provide. So he knew that, and he chose that school, and I was very impressed with his articulation of that with me. A couple of theater people.
Yeah, we had our tech director, Cordy Dwyer, had an intern, Liam, who is going during the year was interning in sound design for theater and for film, and during the year was getting hired and paid for jobs at the Maine, at Canyon Theater Guild, some really nice theaters that are run very professionally, and they were like, yes, let's get this guy, and it was really impressive. And the thing that I wanted to say is that, like, I came into this having had interns at my theater back home in Cleveland, Ohio, and one of the things that I think that Senna does really well, that people who might be wondering if they want to get an intern, is that she really does make sure that they're at that professional level, and it's a thing that, like, that our school is very good about, and Senna particularly is really fantastic in this program, because all the interns I talk to, my interns, other people's interns, they were really pushing themselves to be like, yeah, no, I've got to, like, get my work schedule right, and I've got to do the right thing. I mean, we had the most impressive for me was we had 2 kids who interned at Disney Animation.
Wow.
And I was just like, can I go? I want to do that. I want to be a Mickey Mouse. But, and I think that there's a lot to be said for everything that's being set up with them in that fall semester in the classroom with Cheryl that they then get to take out, and it's just so impressive to see these kids taking these steps and then getting to that culmination and being like, yeah, I worked on this and I did this project, and seeing Kaylee's amazing, like, credits and stills from the film. Kaylee, do you have an IMDb page?
Thank you for bringing that up. I
got
do.
you, kid.
Well, actually, since I worked on the set, I got paid. So I have an IMDb now.
Okay, what is IMDb for listeners who aren't familiar with that?
What does it stand for?
It stands for the Internet Movie Database.
Thank you.
We live in LA. I think like 90% of people know.
Yeah. But basically, like, it goes on and shows all the actors and everything that's worked on movies, and I'm under the makeup department. So if you look
Fantastic.
if you look up the movie.
So you've got a movie credit now as a result of the internship that you did.
Yeah. I know, it's amazing.
That is really cool. So Kevin, you were talking about, it's kind of a rigorous process. So even if our listeners are interested, they go through a process of screening to make sure that our kids are going to be able to get the most possible out of their internship program. I know we've kind of tagged it a couple of times already, but let's go ahead and give them that information now. If our listeners are interested in getting in contact with you, Cheryl, because they want to mentor some of the young people coming through our high school and help build that next generation of people in their industry, they can probably call the school, correct? The phone number at the school is SCVI is 661
Thank you.
705 4820 661 705 4820, and they can ask for Cheryl Senna or just leave a message that they're interested in being a mentor for the internship program, and that'll make its way back to Cheryl's desk really quickly. Is there an email address?
Or you can email me directly at Cheryl, CHERYL .Senna, S as in Sam, ENA, at SCVI-K12.org.
So it's SCVI Santa Clarita Valley International K12.org. Cheryl.Senna at SCVI-K12.org.
And it's not linked on the website now, but I think within 24 hours we can get a little form up that will let you sign up on the website, which is SCVI, or you can look at iLEAD.santaclarita.org. That will give you the website.
Amber, you are fantastic about getting those things done in such a timely fashion. So we've talked about the process of weeding out some of the things that maybe you don't want to do, the process of choosing what you do want to do for your internship and how it prepares you for life after high school. I happen to know a couple of recent graduates from SCVI. So, Kaylee, is this something that you're going into now that you've graduated high school? Are you going to be doing makeup design?
Yes. So I'm going to get my cosmetology license in August, and then I'm going to be working into the union because you have to work so many hours to get into the union.
Okay.
And then once I'm in the union, I can actually start and get an agent and all that kind of stuff to start doing movies and TV shows. And then I probably will want to specialize in special effects makeup once I get in a couple years of doing normal makeup. Yeah.
Okay, and so are those other classes that you need to take, or does that come along with the?
No, you have to like pay for them and buy extra classes, but I can get them now if I wanted to, but I want to work on my cosmetology and go through because it's a long process that you have to do. It's 18 months.
Well, that's what I thought, but you said you're getting your license in August, so you've been working on this for a while already.
No, so I'll start in August.
Oh, you're starting in August.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I'll start in August, and then I'll go for the 18 months, and then I'll work towards, for COC and like all that kind of stuff, like put applications out there for people that want to have makeup artists or hair dry, all that. So I'll be able to do hair, makeup, nails, like all of it. So
what are you the most excited about?
I'm excited for makeup, but working on the movie, I love hair now. It's because that's what I did. I worked with my aunt, but getting to see like the hair and all that kind of stuff, it actually really excites me. So hopefully I'll be able to do both.
And you're still so young, it will continue to settle as to whether or not you become, a special effects extraordinaire or someone who, like your aunt, works on hair or things like that. So that's terrific that you've already got so many different ideas, but such a strong sense of direction.
Yeah.
Now, Kaylee, I know you do have kind of an interesting and unique story when it comes to your education and why you even came to SCVI in the first place.
Yeah.
So maybe you can share, you had a really interesting story that you shared at graduation. For those of you that don't know, Kaylee was actually one of our keynote speakers at the graduation. So talk to us a little bit about your journey through education and how you got to where you're at.
So I have a visual auditory processing disability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a big word.
Oh, yeah. Especially trying to remember that because of disability.
Sure.
But so I have gone through my junior, like my, oh my gosh, what is it called?
Your journey, your experience.
Your senior defense?
No, my elementary school. That's the word.
None of us were anywhere close.
Oh, yeah, not at all.
It's okay.
So you were in elementary school?
Yeah. In elementary school, they kind of just, they didn't know what was wrong with me, and they didn't test me, and they weren't, like, telling me, like, my parents to test me. And they would just kind of put me in this room and just kind of, like, brush me off, basically. And I would get like bullied because I was always taken out of my classes, and I wasn't really like with my friends and everything like that. Yeah.
Interesting. So you were struggling in school.
Yeah.
They weren't really sure, or at least weren't telling you
Yeah.
what was wrong or how to fix it, but they were taking you out of class, which was causing then social anxieties.
Yeah. And then they finally said, like, you know, I think that you should have her tested, or actually, I don't know if they said that, but they had me tested, and so I have that disability. And so then I was actually more taken out of my classes, and because of it, and it like made it worse.
Okay.
And
because you were missing things that you should be getting in
and
class.
then I missed my school, and then tried to catch up with the other stuff, but then, you know, it was just not a good balance.
Okay.
But then when I came to SCVI, you know, they didn't take me out. They helped other kids in the room, not just me. Like, they didn't have a disability, but they still helped people that needed it.
And I have the unique opportunity because I actually was her sixth grade facilitator at the time. I've changed positions from middle school to upper school.
Yeah.
And Kaylee actually, she brought that up in her senior defense. Every senior learner, a graduate has to defend graduating by showing us their portfolio and picking out a piece of work that exemplifies who they are as a graduate and how it showcases that they are ready to move on to their next steps, whatever it may be. And Kaylee talked about that process through her senior defense, as well as she brought up her internship and what she learned on that internship. And to see that growth from 6th grader to 12th grader, to see that growth and that she's able to communicate that and grow and thrive in the years that she's
Speak at graduation.
Speak at graduation.
That was actually really hard.
To see that full circle is amazing. And, and that process was just to see 54 students, learners bring that up and showcase that they were ready to go out into the world.
You made it look easy, Kaylee.
Well, and that's such a beautiful process, because by being allowed to stay in the classroom with your peers, receiving all of the education that you deserve, but still receiving those special education services inside the regular ed classroom, allowed you to participate in a lot of different leadership activities and be, I know, on the dance team and speak at graduation and really excel. Like I said before, preparing you to not follow or be employable, but to lead and really blaze your own trail. That's the focus of what we do at SCVI, not with the select few, but with all of our learners, because all of our graduates, all of this generation really needs to be prepared to lead in the future. Now, it is time for a short break, so we're going to head out to commercial, but please stay tuned for our wrap-up, where we're going to get a little bit more information about some of the other amazing programs at SCVI, as well as some more information as to how to get in contact with Cheryl. You're listening to SCVI Charter Schools, Our Way on the Highway. I'm your host, Matt Watson, with my co-host, Amber Raskin, and your hometown station, KHTS.
Daily Imprints is the premier one-stop shop for custom embroidery, screen printing, and promotional products in the Santa Clarita Valley. Owners Joe and Dana have provided KHTS with quality embroidered company shirts for over 3 years. If it's new business cards or promotional products you need to enhance your image, Daily Imprints is the choice for you. Located on Lyons Avenue, stop by or call today, 661-678-0508.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
If you're in danger of losing your home to foreclosure, you need an expert. Hi, I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty. I've helped hundreds of Santa Clarita residents save their homes completely for free. I've got just over 20 years experience and a loan modification success rate of over 80%. I can negotiate better terms with your bank, and I can save your home from foreclosure. And again, we do this completely for free. So if you're in any danger, please call me today at 661-714-1400. That number again is 661-714-1400. I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty, and I'll be happy to help you save your home for free.
Welcome to Our Way on the Highway. The following is paid programming and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 1220 on the AM dial and FM at 98.1. This is Amber Raskin and Matt Watson of SCVI Charter School.
We've been having a nice conversation with Cheryl Senna, Kevin Becker, and Kaylee Spiteri about the internship program that the seniors at SCVI, every single senior at SCVI engages in. It was really exciting to hear how our kids aren't just, we mentioned before, fetching coffee and making copies. They're really developing some deep experience and given the opportunity to be leaders in whatever field that they've chosen. They have a mentor, and they really do develop some deep projects, Cheryl. So thank you for developing those experiences with our kids.
Well, our whole senior is based on answering the question, how am I ready for my next steps in my life? And so we start off where they examine who they are as an individual and then work through. They also have a community service project that they do, the Legacy Project with Oakmont. In Santa Clarita, where they basically adopt a resident at the senior citizen home.
Senior to Senior, that's called? I
Yes.
love that project.
It's so awesome. That's
It's
my
so
favorite
fun.
project. And then they after they do that, they hunker down and start looking at what are my next steps and building community and their internship. And then through the Senior Defense Portfolio Project. And then finally, at the end, the last 2 weeks, it's really spent on reflection and honoring that milestone through our retreat and everything.
I really want to commend you for, my daughter graduated in 2017 and she had an amazing senior year, and every year you've just continued to dial in the experience for the seniors. So my son next year is going to be a senior, and I'm just beyond excited for him because you make it so memorable and meaningful. It's not just, oh, you've finished this, you've finished tasks. Like, it means something, and you put that context around it. So thank you on behalf of all of the seniors next year and in past years for what you've done to really make it special.
It's really an honor and privilege to do it. I think sometimes I get more out of it than they do, as particularly with the senior defenses this year. I really felt my bucket was full.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
My bucket was full with that.
Can people sign up to be on the evaluators for the senior defenses as well?
We can do that as well. We wanted to plan to do it for this year, but it was our first year doing it, so we'll roll that out for next year as well.
So maybe on the mentor, when the link on the SCVI website is going to say sign up to be a mentor, and maybe from that pool of people. Yeah,
Definitely.
So sign up there.
And speaking of meaningful, touching senior experiences, I attended the graduation just, a week or two ago. And I don't know that I've ever been to a graduation that was more emotionally touching. If our listeners are interested, I think it's posted on the SCVI Facebook page, the video of the graduation.
Also, it's on YouTube and our SCVI YouTube page as well.
If our listeners are looking for just a good cry
I cry
this
a lot,
weekend, it's just such an amazing and touching graduation where I noticed that each graduate got a tremendous amount of personal attention. It wasn't just a quick read your name as you walk across stage, but the kids presented on video what their plans are after graduation. They presented their thank yous as their name was announced. All of their accomplishments and where they're going after graduation was announced. It truly was a touching ceremony.
We get that feedback time and time again at the graduations about how personal it is. I think because we're so small, it's much easier to do that, which is one of the beauties of having a small school as a choice in the way that we do, because that personal feel for the families and the graduates is amazing. And again, I have to give you kudos, Cheryl, for what a fabulous graduation event you always put on.
It's just a lot of fun. I get paid to have fun.
Well, and I love how you all recognize that we don't teach a group of kids or a school of kids. We teach a bunch of individuals. Each one of our learners and each one of our staff members are treated as individuals, and their educational experience is catered as such. Now, some of our listeners may be interested. They may have younger kids in high school or even younger, that they may be interested in enrolling at SCVI. So I do want to give them some information. SCVI is a charter school that receives students from TK, which is transitional kindergarten, students that are 4.5 years old, all the way through senior year in high school. And if they're interested, again, they can call the school at area code 661-705-4820. 420-705-4820. We've also got a prospective family meeting coming up in August 15th, which is a Thursday at 6:30 p.m. We have a meeting for prospective families if they're interested in taking a tour of the school and hearing more about some of the amazing programs specifically for the grade that their kids are going in. They can join us that evening.
And a bit more housekeeping I'll add on as well, which is if you're interested in being a mentor, within 24 hours we'll have a place on the SCVI website to sign up, which you can find at iLEAD.SantaClarita.org, or you can call the school at 661-705-4820. And last, you can email Cheryl Sena at cheryl.sena, which is with an S-E-N-A, at scvi-k12.org.
And Cheryl, Kevin, Kaylee, I do want to thank you again for joining us today.
you.
Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. I want to thank my co-host, Amber Raskin, as well.
And thank you, Matt.
Of course, it's a pleasure. You're listening to SCVI Charter Schools, Our Way on the Highway. Again, I'm your host, Matt Watson, with Amber Raskin. Thank you for listening to your hometown station, KHTS.